So towards the end of April this year, a certain game dropped that I'd heard nothing about, that being Expedition 33. Now this game was immediately talked about, and within the first few days I saw people calling it one of those games or game of the year. So after a while I decided to pick it up for myself, and I can say that while I haven't 100%ed the game, I can say that I have fully completed the story of it. Quickly, I do just want to say that this video will contain massive spoilers, so if you are planning on purchasing this game or beating it, I would heavily recommend you complete your first playthrough and then come back to this video. So without further ado, let's get into my review for Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Now this video will be broken down into 3 different sections. They will be story, characters and gameplay. So first off, let's begin with the story of Expedition 33. At the beginning of the game, you're presented with the cast of characters that really just give off the idea of dread. The reason why I say this is because that's the kind of game Expedition 33 is. From the very start, we're given this idea that everything will be fine, and while conflict will come, the public will remain safe from its wrath. But that couldn't be further from the case, as at the first homage we see Gustav especially falling from a dream back into reality, and that's the theme this game keeps throughout the entire narrative. The idea that our dreams and creations are beautiful, but we can sometimes become obsessed with them, so obsessed that we begin to not accept reality for what it really is. Now this is very clear at the end of the game, as we find out that the world we've come to know and love isn't reality but a painting, a dream that could never exist, and the player is forced to choose between dream and reality at the end, where you have to choose between fighting Verso or Mael. For any of you who are curious, I fought Verso at the end, but I plan on doing the other ending in my next playthrough. The story of Expedition 33 is one of tragedy, and it does that on purpose to show what reality is really like sometimes. What I mean by this is that when we first open the game and we see Lumiere, we're quickly introduced to characters who have hopes, dreams and ideas of freedom, but those feelings quickly are extinguished when they begin the expedition. To the point where Gustav almost ends things because of all the trauma he's just seen in the world he wants to save, the world he calls home. And yet his home is filled with so much pain and terror that at one point he doesn't want it to continue. The story of Expedition 33 is one of the best I have ever seen in gaming, and it has to be my favourite because of this theme, because of the narrative that it pushes onto the player while also hiding the origin of Mael throughout the entire game. Next section of this video is about the characters within this amazing story. I will be mainly talking about the main cast, but especially about Verso, Mael and Renoir, as I personally believe they are the best characters within the entire game, and I'll explain why. When it comes to the characters within Expedition 33, I personally don't believe there is a single bad member of the cast. Every character has their own role and purpose, and they are all done incredibly well. But for the sake of this video, we are only going to be talking about my top 3 characters within Expedition 33. Like I just said, they are Verso, Mael and Renoir. And the reason why I have to talk about all of them at the same time is because of how their roles all intertwine within the story and its ending. Throughout the game, Verso tells us multiple times that he's tired and he wants to be relieved of the pain and the life that's caused him so much pain. Verso is a man who's been living in a dream and wants to return to reality, as to him nothing he does here matters because this world isn't real. Whereas Renoir is the man who fell victim to a dream and was pulled back into reality, and through his own experiences and pain he now understands the distinction between the two. He now understands that he can create and control everything he wants within the canvas, but none of it will ever matter because it has no impact on the real world. And finally, Mael is the victim of dreams, one that could never be pulled from its grasps, and I think that's what makes the last fight between her and Verso so great. Now obviously I can only explain the ending I chose currently, but I personally believe it's a great ending to Mael's character. She's young, and like Gustav, she didn't understand the harshness of reality, and throughout the game we see her wanting to go home, go to a place that's safe, go to a place that she can live and be happy. And at the final fight she takes that home and makes it a reality when she defeats Verso. It's Mael descending into obsession and selfishness hidden by her kindness, as we see aging Verso hesitating to play the piano. But Mael is like Renoir in her visions, always watching like she knows she's in control, and that obsession is killing her, just like it did to her mother. But she doesn't understand that what she's doing isn't right and selfish. And that descent is what I really love about her character. It creates the remaining border between dreams and reality, and shows what happens when someone chooses their dreams over reality, and Verso is the only one that understands her true feelings, as she wants that dream to last forever because he lives within it. And it's the way these three characters connect that makes them my favourite within the entire game, because of what they represent and the stories they tell. The next section of the game I want to cover is gameplay, especially the combat side of it. Now, when people hear turn-based combat, I think it pushes them away because they believe it can never be as engaging as the normal hack and slash, spam square slash X to attack, and I will admit I was one of those people. However, I have never seen a game with a more complex combat system than Expedition 33. Now, I know it wasn't the first to bring the interactive turn-based to the actual gaming industry, but I'm not talking about that side of it. I'm talking about the abilities, skills and pictos that you can apply to your characters. Throughout the game I never really had a build, but I understood what the pictos did and the abilities of the characters. As I've begun to make a build, my characters are capable of ridiculous damage, and that's happened because of the buffs, skills and overall skill of me as a player. For example, I've always tried to learn the enemy's moveset so I can deal an extra 75% more damage on a counter with Verso. It's those types of abilities and buffs that make the game so addictive to me. Along with the game's combat, the world and music are some of the best I've seen. I love the map design, each area has its own theme and bosses, and I really can't explain the music side myself, but it fits the scenes, the combat, the environment so perfect. So if I had to give my honest rating of Clair Obscur Expedition 33, it would be a 10 out of 10 game for me. I personally don't see any major flaws in the game. It's a stunning world filled with a rich story and some of the best characters I've ever seen in gaming. I hope you enjoyed my review of Expedition 33, and don't worry, I have one final video planned for this game, and that will be when I fight Simon, the hardest boss within the game, and no, I will not be using the one-shot build. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.